Hi, my name's Anne-Marie and I'm from Liverpool. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in September 2020, in the midst of COVID, which wasn't the best time to be diagnosed. Not that there is a good time to be diagnosed at all. So the first appointment I had to go by myself to get my diagnosis, which was very daunting in itself. And you come away in a bit of a whirl, not knowing what's happened, what's going to happen, etc., etc. So that was my diagnosis day, which was the 11th of September 2020. I met with my lovely surgeon who explained what was going to happen and that I would need a lumpectomy. At that point, they didn't think I would need any further treatment. So my lumpectomy was booked in for the 1st of October. So between September and October, I just tried to get on with life as best I could without thinking about the cancer. And then the 1st of October came round, I went in and had my surgery. My surgeon was literally a miracle worker and did the most amazing job. So I was really, really pleased when I came out. However, then you've got a 2-week waiting to find out whether the surgery was successful. And if it was successful, what the next stage of treatment would be. So the day finally came when I got my results, which were fantastic results. It hadn't spread anywhere. I felt very lucky, and they got clear margins, so all the cancer was taken away. However, I was then told that I had triple positive cancer, and as a result, I would need to have chemotherapy, which was not something I had planned to have. So that came as a bit of a shock, but needs must. So November 2020, I began my chemotherapy, which I had weekly for 18 weeks. And I had to go to all of those appointments by myself. I had to go to all the chemotherapy by myself, any follow-up appointments. I've not actually met my oncologist because everything's had to be done by phone. So that was difficult. We went into lockdown whilst I was having chemotherapy. So prior to chemotherapy, I couldn't go out, I couldn't see anybody. I had to isolate, and then obviously while I was going through chemotherapy, I couldn't see anyone, but everyone was in lockdown anyway. So I did try to keep my hair. I did try cold capping, but unfortunately it didn't work for me. So I lost all of my hair. This is actually a hair system I've got in now. That's why I look like I've got hair. But yeah, so I lost all of my hair. So that was another tricky part of the journey. And once you lose your hair, your eyebrows and your eyelashes, that's when you begin to look like a sick person, and that's really, really difficult. I feel quite lucky because I went through this in the winter, so hats were fine. So I wore lots and lots of hats, and that was okay. Plus we were in lockdown, so I didn't need to go anywhere particularly, so that was good. So chemotherapy went okay. I was very lucky. I didn't have one of the kinds of chemotherapy that make you really, really sick. So I was okay. I finished my chemotherapy in February this year, and I then had to have radiotherapy. So radiotherapy happened in March of this year. I had 5 sessions of radiotherapy. It's not the most pleasant of experiences, but it was very quick, and the fact that it was able to be condensed down to 5 sessions really made a big difference. So that was my active treatment finished in March, and then I've still got ongoing treatment. I have Herceptin injections every 3 weeks for the HER positive part of my breast cancer. I've got, I'm having 18 altogether, and I'm due number 15 tomorrow. So that's going to be coming to an end soon. And I'm also on tamoxifen for between 5 and 10 years. And that's for the estrogen positive part of my breast cancer. So life is not back to normal. I don't know whether it will ever go back to normal. I've been struggling quite a lot with side effects from my treatment and my medication, to the point where I was a teacher, and I've actually had to give up my career and take medical retirement because of the side effects and the fact that I can't see that I'm going to be better to be able to go back and do that. So it doesn't end when your treatment ends. It just carries on going. It's, as lots of cancer patients say, it's the gift that keeps giving. And it's, you just have to adapt to your new normal, and try and put the thought of cancer to the back of your mind and try and live your life the best that you can. So because I was diagnosed during COVID, unfortunately, there was no complementary therapies offered at all. I know people who've been through cancer treatment pre-COVID, and they had lots and lots of therapies offered to them through the hospital, and they would go, you know, once a week and have various types of therapies done, or classes where they could learn how to do makeup or hair or whatever. Now that was all stopped. So I was offered absolutely nothing. I literally had my treatment at the hospital and there was nothing else available. Even things like support groups all stopped or online. Quite a few support groups actually have stopped altogether because of COVID. They just couldn't keep going through COVID. So it was really difficult. It felt really, really lonely. Felt like a really lonely place to be going through cancer treatment during COVID. And I spent hours, days on the internet trying to find something, somewhere I could go, because I knew I needed something to keep me going. Luckily, on Facebook, I found a couple of groups. There was national groups which I've joined, and also there's a local group to where I live. Now, obviously, we've not been able to meet up yet. We're hoping to next month, but it's been helpful to talk to people who have been through a similar situation. I also thought about helping other people, because I realised how hard my journey was, and I didn't really want anyone else to have to go through something like that on their own. So I now volunteer for Breast Cancer Now, and I help people who are going through a similar situation, which has also helped me as well. I've tried to access other therapies, but along with everything else at the moment, it's all starting to start up again. But you know, when I felt like I really needed it, just after my treatment, there was nothing available, or very, very little available. So again, through trawling the internet and doing my own research, I came across Look Good, Feel Better, who are an amazing organisation, who have the most amazing workshops. So whilst I was going through my hair loss, I did the hair loss workshop, which was really, really helpful. And I also went on the makeup workshop, which was really useful and really, really helped just to focus on something other than your treatment. Just to spend an hour pampering yourself, making yourself look nice, really, really lifts your spirits when you're going through treatment. But they are the only things really that I've had access to. I don't know whether there would be more things to access if it wasn't for COVID, or if it's the case that people with cancer don't have access to an awful lot of therapies. I have found that once treatment stops, there's next to nothing. And most people who have cancer will tell you the worst time is when treatment stops. That's when you need something, and there's nothing there. You get a phone call from the hospital from your breast cancer nurse to say, that's it, you're all done, bye, phone us if you need us, and that's it, off you go. And that's when I think people need the most help. So when you're feeling particularly rubbish about yourself, you've lost your hair, you've lost your eyebrows, you've lost your eyelashes, you're bloated because you're on steroids with your chemotherapy, it's really, really difficult. You don't want to look in the mirror, you don't want to see yourself, you don't want to go anywhere. And that's the time when most people would turn to some kind of beauty therapy or something to make themselves feel a little bit better. But in my experience, if you do approach to have things like that done, and it can be something as simple as I know I wanted to have a pedicure done, and the question's asked, have you ever had all these illnesses? And as soon as you mention the word cancer, it's like the shutters go up. And it was just a case of you've got to contact your oncologist to find out whether it's okay to have your nails painted, which just seemed like the most bizarre thing to me, because I can paint my own nails. No one's told me I can't do that, but I had to go and ask an oncologist. And when you're going through treatment and you've got all the important questions, what medication do I have to take, how long am I going to be on it, what are the side effects, you don't really want to be phoning your oncologist, who's really difficult to get a hold of because they're obviously very busy people, to say, hi, can I have my nails painted, please? It just does not feel like something that is particularly important. So if you're like me, what you'll do is just not bother them, just do it yourself. So it's quite difficult to be faced with that. You've gone from being somebody who can phone up any beauty salon and say, right, can I have my nails done, can I have my toenails done, and I'm being told, yeah, of course, when do you want to come, to no, sorry, you can't, because you're different, you're tainted in some way, and we can't deal with you anymore. So if you imagine you're already feeling rubbish about yourself because of the hair loss and how you look, and then to be told on top of that, no, I'm sorry, you can't come to a beauty salon because you've got something wrong with you, so you're not welcome the same as everybody else, that's just going to make you feel even worse. Now, I was lucky enough also to find some amazing people who did welcome people with cancer. Obviously, I've had my hair system done, who was done by a wonderful lady who helps people with hair loss. And it's incredible how much difference that can make. As soon as I had my hair done, people were saying to me, you just look like you again. You just look normal again. You look like you're glowing, like you again. And it's something, it can be something so small that can make such a huge difference to somebody who has been through treatment. So I think it's really, really important that the industry starts to realise that we're not lepers, we're not people who have to be avoided, and that they can actually really, really help with our ability to get over the trauma that we've been through going through breast cancer, or any kind of cancer for that matter.